Okay, it looks like the first map for the Premier Division, and I believe the Contender Division as well this week, is going to be Whirlwind. Last week it was Kedaria. Whirlwind and Kedaria are our two newest maps in the map pool. Right here at the top right of Whirlwind, we have Liquid Chef starting off for Team Liquid, and down in the bottom left, first player for MVP is going to be Noblesse, who just played in a Code A match, I believe. And I don't think he advanced. I'll have to look that up as we cast. But he did play recently, so I need to make sure that he didn't advance if I'm going to be talking about it, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see. While you check that, we'll take a look at things here. Whirlwind is, of course, one of our newest maps. It's a very large map, a very, very, very large map. And as you can see in the middle of the map, there's just one Xel'Naga tower, but it doesn't cover all that much range. It goes out to about, here, give or take. So it doesn't watch all the attack paths. It certainly doesn't see all the space of these ramps that goes around. So it's very, very easy for players to get out and around the Xel'Naga tower. Strategy some players have been using lately is to actually go with specific designed attacks to actually move around the vision of the Xel'Naga tower, considering that there are fewer and fewer of those starting to pop up on newer maps.
Okay, well, I did ignore everything you just said, but instead looked up the Code A results last night, and Noblesse did, in fact, drop out of Code A last night playing against Creator. So, I mean,
tough luck.
That's a tough draw for the round of 48 for Code A. Creator, obviously on a very, very good roll right now, winning 2 major tournaments in the last couple of months, WCS Korea and obviously TSL 4. So he is just on unstoppable rampage right now, Creator. Feel really bad for Noblesse, obviously a very, very skilled player. We'll see how he does here against Chef, but I just want to say, like, in the morning in the carpool on the way to work, if Code A, Code A or Code S played the previous night, I don't get to stay up and watch anymore, really. So we kind of do the carpool guessing game of who beat who, and so I usually remember who wins and loses, but it's hard for me to remember who the matchups were against. But there we go. Creator took out Noblesse in Code A last night. There were a lot of interesting results in Code A last night. A lot of the Brood War players actually got through, and unfortunately Mena and Naniwa both missed out on their Code A continuation. Both lost.
Saw that. So all the foreigners are out, but it seems like foreigners are being replaced by the Kesmet players, as so many are doing well. Rand, of course, top 8 GSL Code S at the moment from SK Telecom. So there are some very, very good players out there. Chef's going to take watch of the Xel'Naga tower, but his opponent's not scouting at all. Noblesse doesn't have a clue what's going on. Because of how big the map is, he decided, of course, to go after a command center first, and Chef content for now to just send out his Overlord scouts, already bringing his drone back home. He, of course, went for Hatch first into a pool afterwards, but he's bypassed gas for so long, we're staring down a 4-queen build.
Yeah, both players have actually not found their opponents. Chef is not really playing entirely blind, as he did scout that top left, so he knows that he's not there. He's going to scout the bottom right now to know that he's not there, and that's going to give Chef some better scouting information than Noblesse has by not leaving his base at all, obviously. Both orbital commands are going to finish off at the same time, and Noblesse's multiple barracks should be able to save him from just dying outright to these first 8 lings, but we'll see how his control actually is.
This is a good guess by Chef, though. I mean, picking up on the fact that it is a very large map, get out there with a bunch of lings and see what damage you can do early. And honestly, Noblesse only has 3 Marines on the field. 2 more are going to pop up here soon, but if Chef can get a good engagement, these Marines are in for a world of trouble, and he is trying to surround. Manages to grab just one of them, though, trying to chase down the other 2, but Noblesse is already pulling SCVs off the line, and with multiple Marines here, should be able to hold off for quite a while. However, in the meantime, all these SCVs are going to be pulled, and that's a lot of lost mining time.
Yeah, I was wondering why Noblesse didn't just pull 2 of the SCVs that were at the natural, but obviously that was a good decision by him to keep going into the main, because he was meeting more Marines as they were coming out, so that provided some additional DPS. Did any workers actually get killed there? No workers. Okay.
Just looked at it. No workers at all.
Okay, so Chef with a little bit of a, not a fail attack. Obviously, it served a couple of purposes. It let him get a look inside of Noblesse's base, saw how build was coming along, and obviously put him on a little bit of a defensive stance there. So he saw the 2 barracks, didn't see any gas timings or anything like that, but now Noblesse is going to be gearing up with a factory and an additional barracks.
Yeah, it's a little unfortunate he didn't get in there and see the gas timings. The reason is that we already know that Noblesse went very aggressively into gas after taking a second barrack, so sometimes players will just go 1 racks, then double gas, then start working towards their tech afterwards. A little more conventional Reactor Hellion into Banshee that we've been seeing so often in TVC, but that's not the case with Noblesse, and it's actually a pretty critical miss, because because now Sheth doesn't know if it's straight up bio, and we know that it's actually quite a bit different than that. It's a very complicated build here as Noblesse is researching Stim, putting up Marauders, and going for a bunch of Hellions.
That's right. He's going to have a very formidable land army here soon. Sheth is gearing up, though, with a 3rd base about to pop soon and 8 roaches about to come out. Ling speed was delayed for a bit just so he could start to get that roach production up a little bit better. And soon, I would be expecting to see Lair, but we do see a Baneling Nest coming up now, probably based on the information that he saw earlier on with the 2 barracks. With at least 2 barracks out there, he knows he's going to be facing a lot of Marines. So
yeah, and Sheth is not just
safe.
producing a few roaches. I mean, he does have a 3rd base coming up that he can fall on after this, but this is full-on roach Baneling aggression. There are tons of Zerglings coming up after this. The Baneling Nest is almost done. He's doing a nice job of spreading creep through the middle of the map, so he will continue to get units down there very quickly, but this could be a big problem for Noblesse.
That's right. It looks like Sheth did like what he saw as far as a timing to try and get in and do some damage. Zergling speed is done. You can see 18 of them in production now. 6 Banelings actually morphing over by Noblesse's base, but he does get this Hellion in, so he knows that there's no army currently at Sheth's base. The Hellion might actually be able to score some drone kills, but Sheth is not going to waste any time. He's just going to use the Queen to finish off that Hellion and continue this bust here. Oh, I like the roaches approaching from the side. That's going to limit the damage that Noblesse can do.
And he took out the neutral supply depot. That can't be repaired up by his SEV, so that was the smartest place to go through for Sheth, and he is just going to roll on through with a lot of Banelings. The units are pretty clumped up off to the side, and Sheth busting right on through and doing some damage. He needs to kill workers, though. He has sacrificed a lot of economy to get this done. Ooh. Oh, and it looks like he's going to do so with these Banelings. They can't quite catch up to those SEVs, though.
No, the Banelings are going to get actually focused down, but not before one of them comes in contact with all of those Marines. There's still a lot of roaches standing, so this Marauder is going to stim and try to do what he can. SCV's getting pulled off the line again, but you see the roaches actually have very minimal surface area there. They're going to last a pretty long time. They are, still standing, trying to kill off those SCVs. A couple of Lings have gotten in, and if you look at the natural, actually, Sheth is back with his reinforcements. A ton of Lings actually just now entering. They're going to catch these SCVs on their way back to the mineral line and do a lot of damage.
So Sheth is starting to drone up behind this a little bit. I think he realizes he's not quite going to kill his opponent right here, but maybe with the follow-up he'll be able to do that. Yeah, actually, as Noblesse is starting to lose quite a few workers at the moment, but it's still 40 workers to 25. Noblesse will be able to have some economy going here in a second if he can continue to drive away the rest of the Lings, because he does have multiple mules be able to come down at the same time.
Yep, so he's not going to deliver the killing blow just yet. He does have another wave of Lings coming. Could actually kill off some more SCVs, could even morph a couple more Banelings and give that a try. That instant blast on the Marines is going to render the medevacs pretty much useless, but he's not going to morph any Banelings. Instead, he's going to come in just with those Lings and actually force Noblesse to pick up the Marines. He's going to run into the SCV line, try to chomp down a few more of the ones carrying gas there, because sometimes you forget to replace those, but either way, these Zerglings are doing a ton of damage still to the mineral line, and Noblesse just does not have enough units to stop it.
34 workers killed, and that renders Noblesse pretty close to dead. I mean, he has some outs here. He can certainly try and win a huge engagement and make his way back into this, but I don't know, man. Things are looking really tough, and Sheth has another 28 Lings following this up. 1-1 is on the way, and he's going up to Lair, but I think he smells weakness and potentially a victory in Liquid's hands to start things off.
Yeah, Sheth realizes he's done a ton of damage. He hasn't really lost any of his own mining time or anything like that. Noblesse hasn't even been over there aside from that single Hellion we saw earlier, so he's just going to press the advantage. Getting up those upgrades and Lair tech obviously is going to help him transition if things start to fall flat, but with a 30 supply lead at this point, made up mostly of Lings, I have a feeling he could make a handful of Banelings, try to get Baneling speed researched even. He has plenty of time to get a huge army before he goes back in there to try and deliver that killing blow, but Noblesse, on the other side, he's actually moving out with what he has on the field now, which actually is just a bunch of Marines with Stim and medevac support.
Yeah, there are a few Hellions coming from behind, but oh, this is going to be all. Noblesse is putting everything into this push, and we'll see. This is a very calculated risk. If he's able to win the engagement he wants, he needs to be able to destroy economy afterwards as well. Sheth just needs to survive. And see, Noblesse's thought process is probably as well, oh, well, he did a lot of damage. He's probably going to be droning up. He won't have that many units. But Sheth made 1 million units back at home. He's got so much left in supply here, and we'll see if this is going to be able to do it. Yeah, Noblesse sees all the units and leaves the game. That is game number 1 in the bag for Team Liquid.
Great start for Sheth there, actually taking a win for Liquid. I know a lot